Hey everyone, Ashton Harvey here. Welcome to the Significant Edge Academy. So normally earning respect and building trust really takes a lot of years of demonstrating high character, credibility, and consistency. But there are exceptions to every single rule. And so that's why in today's video, I'm gonna be covering the 6 proven psychological tricks to command respect almost instantly. And to do that, I'm gonna be actually using amazing people that you may know and love. All right, to start us off, the first trick that you need to learn in order to command respect is to level up your thin slice. People make their first judgment of whether or not they like someone within the first 5 seconds of meeting them. Thin slices aren't necessarily shallow judgment, and it can be tempting to chalk all of it up to luck of the genetic draw. But you don't have to be Ryan Gosling or Emma Stone to really have a strong thin slice. In fact, one massive lever in your direct control is the way that you dress. So now the mistake that most people make here is they dress up with the subconscious goal of blending in because they are subconsciously scared of being judged. They dress up like everyone else to avoid them being noticed, and they don't want to be the focus of attention. And so here are 2 quick fixes to that. I've already talked about it before, dressing 1 notch above what the situation calls for. It will get you noticed in a positive way. And number 2, focus on majority of your attention on clothes that fit and flatters your body type rather than finding the most expensive clothes that you can possibly afford. Now after your style, the next easy trick that you can implement to level up your thin slice and immediately command more respect is to physically take up more space. So I want you to watch this next video with Tony Robbins. Look how Tony literally owns his space around him and how it captivates his listener.
And when you told me that story before, and you just did it again, and you get you big grin on your face, you get more excitement on your face than when you talk about doing 18, than when you talked about doing the 18 million, which I know you're proud as hell of, and you didn't get all the money, but you made 18 million bucks for somebody in 24 hours, right? Yeah. But look at your face.
Now, physically taking up more space does not necessarily mean doing big hand gestures that demand the spotlight, okay? It can be as simple as just sitting asymmetrically, or maybe even just taking up your entire seat. The goal is not to necessarily encroach on anyone else's space in some kind of dominating game. In fact, you can always adjust to make more room for people around you, and the ultimate goal is to subconsciously communicate that you are not afraid to be seen. So a quick way to take up more space without using massive gestures. So before you enter a room, roll your shoulders back a few times, okay? Raise your chest slightly, and when you walk in, make sure that you're standing with your feet slightly splayed out, shoulder width apart. Now the next part is very closely related to taking up more space, and it's being comfortable and getting comfortable with platonic touches. And yes, this one is on pause during the duration of social distancing, but generally speaking, most Westerners are awkward when it comes to physical contact with others. Quick example, waving hello versus handshakes, right? So in really any physical contact after that initial conversation. But it's also important to know that touch is an integral part of human connection, not just with romantic partners. Touch can build a feeling of trust, safety, and a feeling of connection. This is one of the ways that Oprah Winfrey creates instant connections with everybody that she meets. Now, obviously, this needs to be done correctly, or it can cause discomfort, and there are 3 principles to basically make sure that your physical touch or your platonic touch is well received. So first off, keep your touches to non-sensual areas of the body, such as the hands, the arms, the shoulders, and the upper back. Second, keep every touch roughly below 5 seconds, okay? So if you linger past that, it can start to feel a little creepy. And third is you want to be a universal toucher. Give a caring touch to people around you, and regardless of your attractiveness to them. If you share the love and caring towards everybody, then you seem more friendly and confident. But if you focus on one person specific, then you almost seem predatorial. And of course, be mindful of how people react and calibrate accordingly. So now that we covered the 3 things that you can do to command more respect, now let's talk about the things that you can say. If you want people to respect and perceive you as confident, don't allow people to cut you off mid-sentence. Most people think that it's polite to stop talking when someone interrupts them in a conversation, but when you let someone bulldoze you over to shut you up, it's signaling to the rest of the people that their opinion is more important than yours. So this is especially true in group conversations. Now, let me just be really clear. I don't mean that you need to step on other people and hog all the spotlight or even talk more than others. But to command respect, you should always finish your sentences when you have the floor, even when someone is trying to talk over you. So I want to bring up this quick example. Watch how young Jaden Smith gives up on this next clip.
Yeah, no, that is something. You guys,
that'll get you really humble.
How does that keep you humble?
No, the truth. Well, because people sort of often ask.
Now, let's compare that to Jaden's father, Will.
That is just going on the internet.
But don't they just say you're cute and stuff? Like, don't they say great things about you?
No.
Will Smith, I liked him in Bad Boys, but he got some big ass ears.
Dude.
So by coming in just a little bit louder than everybody else and making his sentence unstoppable, Will makes his joke heard, and immediately Bradley Cooper is excited to hop onto Will's conversation thread. Now the next counterintuitive trick you can implement is to compliment your competition. It's the opposite of trying to tear them down for the lack of skills or competencies. Tearing down the competition is a great way to lose respect, even if your thoughts and judgments are completely justified. Talking bad on your competition is actually a negative effect on how people perceive you, and it makes you look like a meaner and more jealous person. If you show respect and acknowledge your opponents, this will give you more credibility, and it will allow you to have respect on the opposite side for all of the strengths and weaknesses that you may have. I want to compare and contrast two specific situations, how you can use this effectively or ineffectively: work and dating. For instance, when you elevate a coworker by elevating their work, you in turn elevate yourself because it shows that you are fair, honest, and confident. And on the other hand, dating, if you badmouth someone because you think that your crush might like them, it actually makes yourself look insecure, petty, and it might even turn your crush off. And of course, there are exceptions to every single rule, and there are people who command respect by trash talking their rivals. A prime example is Muhammad Ali. See, this works for Ali and other fighters because they work in an arena where people trash talk and it's encouraged. And there's also a sense of humor and over-the-topness with what they say, and it turns a potential arrogant statement into a fun, confident one. And the last psychological trick that you can implement to command respect quicker is to be open and acknowledge personal shortcomings. People incorrectly think that you need to hide your flaws and put on a strong front and fake it till you make it, right? But the truth is more nuanced. The fact is people sense that you are hiding something, especially if you're overcompensating. In reality, people do not judge you by your shortcomings, they judge you on how you perceive your shortcomings. So by being open about your shortcomings, you're sharing that you are not afraid to be seen as you are. And this is the genius behind the last rap battle in 8 Mile when Eminem owns the bad things about himself and ends up winning the competition overall. So if you share your shortcomings and they don't embarrass you, it shows that you have massive confidence. The key is to share it properly, and you have two strong options here. You can say your shortcomings as a joke, or you can say it as a simple statement of fact with strong eye contact, no stutter, and a downward tonality. Now, all of these tricks work perfectly, but they are deeply enhanced with a deep feeling of authentic confidence. So if you want to learn more about developing authentic confidence so that these tips become, second nature, then you might be interested in subscribing below. You can also follow me on any one of my many social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter to get daily short videos on business, networking, and personal development hacks. You can find the links below as well. And that's my time today. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time. But until then, be kind, be bold, be significant. I'll see y'all next time.